If you are new to this game and really wants to get into it, maybe that your first reflex will be to take a look at the tech tree to see what kind of tanks you can get. And obviously doing so, you are going to choose a line, you are going to pick up some different tanks, maybe some from the tech tree that you're going to keep, some from the premium tech tree, because yes, there is kind of a premium tech tree when you take a look above the regular tech tree tanks. And of course, you are going to ask yourself, is there everything here? And the answer is obviously no. And the answer is no for two reasons. The first is that not having all the tanks here allows Wargaming to sell you some tanks for a really big price. And the second thing is that, well, they have also some tanks that are being tested or some tanks that are so hard to obtain that it's literally impossible currently to get them. And the tank we're going to talk about today is in one of those cases. Because today we take a look at a tier 10 collectible German tank, the Kampfpanzer 50-ton. A tank that was sold only one time by Wargaming through crates and extremely hardcore crates to obtain. Because it was basically, if I'm not mistaken, crates with 1% drop chance for the tank and no charms at all. Which means that you had, every time you open a crate, one time out of 100 to actually pack the Kampfpanzer 50-ton. And this is possibly the reason why, first, nobody gambled, and that among the one that gambled, not just a few lucky ones managed to get the tank in their hands, which results in it not being seen on the battlefield scenes. And the question I want to answer today is, why is Wargaming making that tank such a privilege to obtain? Because obviously they are doing that, it's because they are fearing something. And I think that what they fear is that this tank would be capable of putting every single medium tank of this game out of its misery by totally destroying it, because it's one of the few tanks in the game that has close to 3.7 thousand DPM. Yes, you heard that right. You have right here in front of your eyes the tank that has the most DPM out of all the tanks at tier 10. And it's crazy. It's just crazy thinking about it, that it's on a medium tank, because medium tanks are known to have a great mobility, which means that not only are you versatile, you are also extremely deadly. The main problem with the Kampfpanzer 50-ton, beside the fact that it's impossible to obtain, is that as no one sees it in battle, no one knows how to fight against it. And it's probably the greatest advantage you can expect from what is possibly the rarest tier 10 tank at the moment. I think it's closer to Rarity than the AE Phase 1, the tank that you can only obtain having 0.1% drop chance every time you open a crate through the Battle Pass crates. And to be fair with you, this tank doesn't seem to have a lot of flaws. The main problem with it being that you lack a little bit of armor, but once you learn how to play with it, you should not get bothered about that anymore. And what is crazy is thinking that with this tank, you have the exact same reload time or close to as an Object 140 or a T62A that are known to have 310 alpha damage. Whereas with this one, you have 350. At least it had 350 in test. And it's just ridiculous thinking about it, because it just allows you to destroy everything you see on the map just in a matter of seconds. Just imagine, you have the possibility of putting nearly 4 shots if you are using adrenaline before an FV1A3 reloads, which means that you have a closer DPM to the FV1A3 than any other tanks, at least in terms of alpha damage mostly, because 4 shells of a Kampfpanzer equals 350 multiplied by 4, which is roughly 1.2k, something like this, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even a little bit more, 1.4k. So you have more alpha damage in 18 seconds than a freaking FV1A3. This tank is just pure gold, and if you manage to get your hands on one, because obviously Wargaming will put it back into the shop, you are going to be among the luckiest mofos out there, because that tank is just a blessing. Take a look at our friend totally annihilating the opponents. The M60 is actually reloading, and he's not even going to be able to reload. He's going to get killed before because of its freaking and counter with a Kampfpanzer. This tank is, in my opinion, one of the funniest tanks you can acquire if you manage to acquire it. And I would like to get your opinion, guys. Maybe some of you actually encountered one. Personally, I never saw a single one in battle, and I wish I could, because obviously if I did, I would have been able to use the replay to showcase the tank to you, to give you my feedbacks, etc. But to be fair, this tank is still in a dark place. No one knows exactly what are the statistics beside the people owning it, which means that we know nothing about this tank. It's like a tank getting in test again and again and again. And usually when tanks are being tested, people really struggle against them because you never see them, therefore you don't know how to fight against them. The Kampfpanzer is the perfect example after the release, which is crazy enough to be mentioned. So tell me your opinion. Maybe some of you, my subscribers, actually own the tank. And if it's the case, I would like you to tell me what it feels like. Is the Kampfpanzer really great? Because in every single replay I see about the tank, I'm just thinking, man, I need one. But it was too expensive the first time it was released. Let's be honest, I did not want it to spend 1,000 euros on a stupid tier 10 tank. It's not even a real thing. Like, with 1,000 euros in pretty much every single country in the world, I think you can do a lot. And probably better things than spending it on these kind of things. And at the same time, what is crazy about the tank is that he's making a lot of credits. Just take a look at that. Our friend nearly did 115,000 credits using this tank. It's just perfect. And one thing that is crazy enough is that it's also a tank that is available in World of Tanks PC. And usually what happens when it's the case is that World of Tanks PC gets the broken version, and we, as World of Tanks Blitz, get the regular normal version. Here, it was not the case, because not only the tank went from tier 9 in World of Tanks PC to tier 10 in World of Tanks Blitz, but Wargaming just buffed the hell out of every single aspect of the tank to make it a good tier 10, which means that for once we get a broken version of an already existing tank in World of Tanks PC. Because if I do a little summary of what happened, specifically with the premiums, different premiums collectible that we have into the game that are broken in World of Tanks PC and just regular in World of Tanks Blitz, list is quite long, starting with the mighty object 260 that is just a really bonker, a literal bonker in World of Tanks PC, and an average tank in World of Tanks Blitz. Now, of course, the last question to answer is, how is Wargaming allowing us again to get the tank? In my opinion, it's not the kind of tank that will be in a regular offer like the VK9001P currently. I think that it's going to be something either available during the Christmas event for you to spend a lot of money to get it guaranteed, even if it's not going to be the Christmas tank. The Christmas tank is going to be the Caro, but we're going to talk about that later on during the year. And at the same time, I'm suspecting that Wargaming will probably put it in crates like they did the first time, but maybe that this time, if we're lucky enough, they're going to put it in charms, but I don't believe it's going to be the case. But maybe we're going to get it in 4% drop chance crates, and if it's the case, here, maybe that I will gamble again, because I really want to give it a try. It just seems like the kind of tank that I'm going to love, to be fair, and obviously when it's the case, I'm willing to hurt my wallet. So, this video is now over. Feel free to tell me your opinion on that tank, because I would be curious to see if you think like me, or you just think that is a boring tank. Maybe you think that, because it's actually possible if it's not your kind of playstyle. But tell me, regardless, because I would be curious to have the overall opinion of my viewers on this thing, to see if I'm the only one that sees it as a broken tank, or that maybe there are more than a few that think like me. And hopefully, I'm gonna see you soon for a new video, guys. Bye.